now 6 Tremors movies.
Yeah.
Counts them.
Yes,
6
Hold on.
Tremors movies.
Also, real quick, speaking of Impact, Scott Steiner steroid ass is back in
No.
Impact Wrestling now. And he is a tag team champion.
Scott Steiner, by the way, who came into my wrestling conscious as the only dude who wore like the college helmet, like the college like wrestling helmet.
That was Rick.
That was Rick.
Oh, that was Rick. See, one of them damn
But
Steiners.
That was Rick.
He's a damn Michigan man.
He's a Michigan
Yeah,
mofo.
he is.
Yes. So yeah, salute. Wow. Is that where we are now?
Good old big bad booty dad.
You know he got a video with Robert Frank, right?
Big Papa Pump.
You know him and Robert Frank know each other, right?
What's up, Robert Frank? That's really.
They kind of, but
He got arrested. He said he can't do too many videos.
Don't they kind of look alike though? Do they look alike?
He got trying to smuggle his diuretic of choice across the border.
No, you know when he was in the car having his rant, and then the police pulled the photo. He got scared.
Too much wellness.
NBA, please.
NBA playoffs, round 1 officially completed yesterday. The Cleveland Cavs behind another Herculean effort by LeBron James, dispatch of the Indiana Pacers. By the way, speaking of Ramon, did you see that the Wizards dusted off Ramon Sessions and put him on the active roster for one of them games?
Lil Duval played?
Yeah, well, he didn't play. He was in uni.
He was in uni?
He was in the street clothes at one time, and then he was in the uni.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
right.
They don't want to call out everybody like he ain't do nothing wrong.
Like, if you're Tim Frazier and you look up and Ty Lawson is taking your minutes,
Todd Lawson.
Okay.
Wouldn't. Because your
That's a
ass
feel good
can't
story.
shoot.
That's a feel good story.
You shot 38% through this whole series.
bro, Kevin McHale said that Scott Brooks said that Ty Lawson was one of the smartest players he's ever
I've heard that story.
coached. Okay. Hendo's boy, by the way, Ty Lawson. Okay. Round 2 of the playoffs officially began Saturday. Round 1 officially ended on Sunday. Again, the Cavs advanced to face BMO's RSHs. Thank you very much. And the Toronto Raptors. We will get to that in a second. Utah and Houston, the Dubs and Pelicans have all played one game in their second round series. Home team winning bigly. So, let's get to Chris right now. All right, Chris. For the second year in a row, the Oklahoma City Thunder have been dispatched in the first round. Last year, it was about, Russ's MVP season and the triple doubles, et cetera, et cetera. The playoffs has sort of turned into a look at Russ's supporting cast, and you saw all kind of numbers about what happened when Russ would sit down in the Houston Rockets series. So this season, you add Paul George, you add Carmelo Anthony, and you take on the Utah Jazz with home court advantage. You are dispatched in 6. And as Chris and I like to call it should have been a gentleman's sweep had Oklahoma City not made a miracle 71, they come back from down 71 to 46. Russ takes 43 shots in game 6, 19 three-pointers. He was making a few. He got hot for a minute, but that is all. And this year, the story is the same. Can you win a title with Russ? Does Russ have good basketball DNA? Is this bad coaching? I know you will talk about the coaching. So discuss that first and get into how the coaching affects the personnel and vice versa.
Well, ever since they hired him, I thought Billy Donovan wasn't a good NBA coach. I just thought that, sometimes a lot of teams, especially in all sports, which we'll talk about in other sports later, they get real, like, how can I say it, sexy about picking certain things. They want to get cute, and it doesn't work. My thing was this. KD kind of warned everybody about this with Billy Donovan, and we all should have took note of it. It wasn't him being salty. He kind of brought up a good point. And to answer your question, I don't think Russ is a championship guy. I think he's going to be. I told y'all, and people got mad at me on social media when I said this. Russ is easily a top 5 talent in the league. We're not denying that. He's an MVP candidate every year if he's healthy. But he's also a guy that's relishing the moment of being the guy and the feel-good story. Oh, I stay behind. He's enjoying that. And to me, the slap in the face, and I know me and DA had so many beefs, you guys know in the hangout about Billy Donovan. I kept telling him, this team's going to win one more game than what they won last year. And guess they did. They won one more game. And they added an all-star. Not only did you add an all-star, you added an all-star in his prime, his perennial prime. And not only did you add him, you added a guy, okay, we all can make jabs and jokes at Melo, but Melo only took like 6 or 7 shots in both games. You added Melo along with a team with Steven Adams who got improved. You added Corey Brewer, and don't give me this whole thing about Andre Rosen being that much missed because you still couldn't do nothing offensively. He ain't scoring 20 or 15 a game. So my thing is this: I think they should blow it up because to me, Russell stayed because he wants to be the guy that stayed. I think he has Iverson's DNA when it comes to that. Iverson was willing to stay in Philadelphia and just lose and be competitive enough to make the playoffs and look like the guy. He wants to be the reason, not a part of the reason that they win. And I thought that was a big issue. Well, Billy Donovan should have been fired. I thought it was a bad coaching move. I think that, to me, I know a lot of people disagree when I say this, but I thought they did Scott Brooks wrong. Because Scott Brooks he got screwed because when KD and Russ both got hurt that one year, he got Russ back and KD got hurt. And then he had to come back and try to have a winning season. They were both hurt all the time. I thought they did him wrong because he was the only one that seemed to understand how to get Russ to stay back and just move around. And to me, hero ball never wins. And I don't understand Oklahoma City's philosophy. I mean, people try to give. I remember people all on my case was like, "Look, you see, you all on Sam Presti. Look what he did." I didn't care about the moves because to me, those moves, both of those teams wanted to get rid of those guys. People acting like New York just didn't want to get rid of Carmelo. And then for me, we all sat here and laughed. I remember when the trade happened and people said, "Man, Sabonis, Oladipo for Paul George, man, Oklahoma City won that trade by far." Well, it's not looking like that right now. And to me, I just feel like Paul George has no reason to come back. If I'm Paul George, I'm staying away because the thing is this. He's getting pretty much blamed for not showing up when you had no chance to show up. You got a guy that doesn't pass the ball very well. He puts his head down and he starts running. That's it. And you get out the way. And to me, Steven Adams looks scared every time he touches the ball in the paint. He looks like he's scared. I mean, I know Gobert has a big presence, but defensively, they didn't do nothing. Donovan Mitchell looked like Jordan out there, literally. He looked like Jordan 86. Man.
Oh, okay, real quick. The sequences when he would take the ball, literally hold it out on it. What were we waiting on to get some sort of Hassan chop on his forearm every time he did that? And he just let it go. There was no hammer. There was no Steven Adams protecting the rim. Now, I know he had some foul issues and stuff like that. But to me, that is indicative of the issue with Oklahoma City. And I hate for it to be just Russ, but
It's part of his fault.
it is he's a loafer on defense. You can look. You didn't need film to watch the loafing that he did on defense. Whether you want to defend that as conserving energy or whatnot, I get that. You can defend LeBron on that because he basically carried the Cavs to a W. This is a series to me where Russ does that, and he must do things not beyond loafing in the corner after making the initial pass in the offense and standing around on defense. A lot of those pick and roll misses or a lot of those pick and rolls is because Russ didn't rotate off the wing. And if your best player ain't doing it, I think it's very hard for you to hold others accountable.
And I remember you mentioned that all through the series where they were playing pick and roll defense and Russ just backs off or just not even go around the screen or even just rotate. Or towards the fact of there's a lot of isolation going on as to where, like you said, Russ just holding the ball trying to wait for something to happen, or he's just jacking a shot, or he'll give it to Paul George, wait on him to do something. There was no drive and kick out movements that I seen. Even when Andre Roberson was out, you had the opportunity to do that with Melo, but Melo took a total of 16 shots in the last 2 games. Even towards the fact of, I thought, even during the season or even through these playoffs, which I think was a bad matchup anyway, Melo shouldn't have came off the bench. But for some reason, he had you so high in pride on yourself to be a starter and trying to prove something to a team that you was traded to with 2 other isolation players going over there. Donovan had a good lineup that I thought, but I thought he was gonna go with that with Game 6, and he even execute that. But when you have your
was it with Abrines and Grant?
Yeah, Abrines and Grant.
Okay.
I like that lineup a whole lot, and it was successful. I thought they was gonna do that Game 6, but they didn't. You still high and tight on hero ball. When you have a point guard, which is a scoring point guard, I understand that. But there is no way in hell your scoring point guard is supposed to take 43 shots on a game where you'll be on the brink of elimination on the road like that. And Playoff P, I don't know what happened with him.
Thank you.
Playoff P.
The name started.
Yeah, the name, that name.
Did he get to double figures?
No.
Oh, no, he did not.
Okay.
The only
Address that, and then I want Chris to address that part as well. And
Oh,
what
yeah.
have we heard about Paul George this year?
That he needs to play on a team where he can.
Where he's the third option?
No,
I mean, that,
I think he can be the
like,
first
like
option.
him,
You
like,
think he can be the first?
I don't have a problem with him being no first option.
I think his
Third option,
game
I don't
six.
think so.
I think his game six behavior indicates that he does not want to be a first option. Like,
But see that okay, like he tried to do that approach when it came to before he left Indy, he was blaming CJ Miles and what I'm saying, clutch moments. But when it came to your clutch moments, you didn't even come in with that as a first option. Second option may be best for him. His 3-pointers and his defense is still the same. But it's like, come on, dude. You had your point guard taking this many shots. You mean tell me you're that scared to talk to him and tell him that, hey, leave it in my hands, or even go to Billy Donovan and be like, hey, man, we need to draw something up because this is not working. They're like, they all scared of Russ. It is Russ's team. He's the longest tenured player there. But at the same time, if you're going against a bad matchup and it's not working, the coach need to have the fortitude to step up and say, hey, man, we need to try this or we need to do something else. But it didn't work that way. You stayed with hero ball. You stayed with Russ being Russ because he's so quote-unquote loyal to the team and want to be this and that because KD left. KD left for a reason. And since he left in, y'all got 2 first-round exits thinking things was going to be the same. No, maybe the person that's supposed to leave is supposed to have been gone. But you want to stay for the money, for the bread, and stay loyal. You're staying loyal for no reason. So he has to go. He should have went. And Donovan, yes, he does have to go too.
I think Chris, we pointed this out in the chat room, and then Chris posted it on Twitter. Look, man, in the new NBA, I don't respect you, dog, if you can't give me 37, 38% from 3. And it's 10 years of this from Russ. And, I saw what Russillo posted on Twitter about you just can't play with that dude. I don't really want to go in that direction, but damn, dog, that man, he needs a reliable jumper. And I'm talking about, look, Zach Lowe on today's column posted 3 or 4 videos of showing Russ, for example, dribbling inside the 3-point line, okay? Dribbles, and then shoots it from 22 feet, right at the top of the key. And I'm like, what are you doing? Then he gets a pick and roll situation, and instead of exploiting the pick and roll, dribbles backwards to shoot a contested 3 at the top of the key. Look, he needs to be in that 1,000 jumper a day school in the offseason. And you know who needs to join him? Who's also in double-digit years in the league? Rajon Rondo. Because in this series, playoff Rondo will mean nothing. Because y'all remember the series with the Grizzlies when the Dubs said, we're just going to let Keith Murray shoot.
Right.
Tony Allen, you can have
all the shots you want.
All the jumpers you want. They did that to Rondo in game 1, and to me, that's the difference in that series. Defensively, what Rondo and Drew Holiday were allowed to do, especially physically, on Dame Lillard, you ain't trapping Clay, you're not trapping Iggy, and when Curry comes back, it looks like he's probable for game 2. You're not going to be trapping him hard. Again, say what you want about what Curry looks like. That's a big guard,
yes,
okay? He's 6'3". This ain't pushing around little Dame.
Exactly, and that's the thing that I'm going to mention. I'm going to piggyback with you on that. This ain't Dame and CJ, okay? How good that backcourt is, they small. You ain't doing this against this backcourt of Clay and against Steph. Steph may be back game 2, like you said, by the way, it's probable, but I think he will be back. But now you're facing a team where, this is the best I've seen them play so far in this playoffs. It's been 1 round. They went on a 25-2 run in the second quarter. When you go on runs like that, it's pretty much over and it's done. And Steph is going to come back maybe game 2, which I think he should just rest another game so he can be fully 100%. But I understand if he's going to come back early like this or not, that's fine. But yeah, this is not a good matchup for Holiday and for Rondo at all.
Yeah, and I just think that my thing on that matchup was eventually something was going to catch up. And the problem is this. Drew Holiday, look, I think we all in this room maybe need to apologize to Drew Holiday. I think he kind of proved deep. I think the thing about him underrated was his defense. I didn't realize how good of a defender Drew Holiday was. But it's just not a good matchup basketball-wise. I think that they played the Rockets is maybe different, but Golden State they move, man. I've never seen so much motion in the offense and just flow. Look, if you'd have told me Nick Young will be starting the playoff game and as a key contributor, I think we all would have laughed. But back to that OKC thing with Paul George, I think my thing on Paul George is this. I kind of already got 2 teams for him. I think they're the perfect teams for him, for his style of play. The first thing that came to mind was the Philadelphia 76ers. Because if they're targeting another scorer, another guy, he would be the perfect guy. You throw him in that lineup of 6'10" guys, he's perfect. But my dark horse team, I think that would be ideal for them because they need a guy that can score beside Donovan Mitchell, Utah. Because he has a relationship with Donovan Mitchell. He also likes Quinn Snyder, who recruited him, out there at Fresno. So I think that would be an interesting thing for him. So I kind of like that idea, but I also think that one thing we need to give credit to is Quinn Snyder. I think when we talk about Coach of the Year this year, I mean, it's kind of easy to put the D and D and Tony, as Cleveland they said, had eloquently put it. But I think, man, going back and looking at it, man, I don't think there's no way possible you cannot say Quinn Snyder. For what he did, you got your number one scorer as a rookie. You got a guy that was injured for most of the season. He's probably going to get Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. I mean, he got max potential from Ricky Rubio. So
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, they didn't really even replace Gordon Hayward. Donovan Mitchell replaced Gordon Hayward. So, I mean, they figured it out. So I'm going to give them credit. But, yeah, my thing on Oklahoma City is simple. I think it's just time to burn it down. I think that you're stuck. This is the crossroads.
Yeah, that's the more key word. They're stuck because they are capped out.
This is like Philly. They're literally Philly. When they try to give Iverson a couple of guys, and they're like, you know what? They're almost like Denver when they had Melo and Iverson. And that's what it looked like. You're capped out, and then all of a sudden it's like, what do you do? Because my thing is this: Russ can't play with those kind of guys. To me, somebody mentioned you want to put him in a team like Harden had last year, shooters. Guys that don't need the ball in hand. But my problem is this: Harden can shoot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what the difference is. Harden's a way better creator. He's a way better shooter. And to me, I don't see Russ out there throwing bombs to anybody. So that's my issue with them. But yeah, I'm like, Billy Donovan has to go. To me, if I'm president and the owner, I'm doing him like they did Lane Kiffin. You're not getting on the plane, bro. You're not getting on the plane,
bro. You stuck in Utah.
You're not getting on the plane because to me, this is an indictment on him, and also Sam Presti. Because to me, people applauded Sam Presti for making those moves, but I thought it was Bush League how he did it, because it was kind of like a natural reaction to say, okay, we're gonna put all this together and let's just hope for the best. You're not in a situation, especially in the West, where you got a team like Golden State that's established. Golden State's established. Houston established. We knew Houston was gonna be like this, and to me, for them to do it like that, if you'd have told somebody one more win with an all-star guy can give you 25 a game and a guy can give you 15 or 16, you'd have laughed at me. But this is what we got, and I just think at the end of the day, Russ fans, Oklahoma City fans, they have to realize this. When y'all should have listened to KD was telling y'all, but y'all didn't want to hear it.
Cupcakes. All right, one of the teams that Chris did mention, the Philadelphia 76ers, opened up the second round. In about 30 minutes, they will take on the Boston Celtics, who dispatched of the Milwaukee Bucks in 7 games. Did you see your boy Jason Eugene said, I'd like to come back for one more season? If your Game 7 game plan in 2018 includes playing a bit easier, at least for tonight, Jaylen Brown with the heavy, who's the most important? Who has the most important hamstring in the NBA playoffs? Ricky Rubio or Jaylen Brown? Beam up.
I say Jaylen Brown because he has established himself as a two-way player. Also, he's already replacing Gordon Hayward as it is, and now losing Jaylen Brown, him going down with this hamstring injury, I think that's a huge loss for them. I think it makes Philly's, victory in this second round even more better because you're losing a two-way player, and it's going to be hard to just find somebody to just really adjust to that. So it is Jaylen Brown to be. Like with Rubio, that is important because you've seen what he did against Oklahoma City, but now with Utah, you lose that distributing player. But at the same time, I couldn't count Rubio as scoring 3 for 3s or 2 for 2s as in the Rockets case where you have Harden and a Chris Paul who just averaging just so many points a game and they can shoot. But I think Jaylen Brown is the more efficient hamstring injury in this series, and that's going to be a huge problem for Boston.
Who you got, Philly or Boston?
I got Philly. You know what? I'm gonna say Philly in 5 games. I only give Boston. I gave Boston 1 game at home.
Hendo, Philly and Boston.
I want to go, because I'm going to go Philly because of injuries. But I don't think it's going to be an easy series for them because the problem is this. You want to talk about Billy Donovan, Brett Brown got to answer some questions too. You better be glad you got talent because, that's the only thing that's saving you right now. So we'll see. But I think it's going to be a better series than what we think.
Okay, I agree with that. As much as I am high on Philly, look, winning in Boston is going to be way harder than winning in Miami, okay? Boston plays great at home. They do have Marcus Smart back, And I like it what Marcus Smart may be able to do to Ben Simmons, sort of to what Draymond will be able to do to Anthony Davis in a sense. And it's not about defending him or shutting him down, but physically, Marcus Smart can match up with damn near any guard in the league physically, okay? So he can push Ben Simmons out of his spot a little bit, make him work a little harder, bring the ball up the court. Boston's problem is going to be scoring. And with Jaylen Brown hobbled, your only reliable scorer from the perimeter is Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay? Look, as much as I love Marcus Smart, and even I love my man Rozier, as far as scoring-wise, they are streaky at best. I've got Philly winning the series. This is all about talent to me, and I think they will have they'll have the two best players in the series. And if you want to include Saric or even Redick, they may have four of the best seven players in the series. And that's before I even get to Robert Covington, exactly. Cavs Raptors. This is a simple question. What different does the Raptors' depth, and it is now fully complete now with Wavy J. Cole back, your man Van Vliet, does that make up for whatever discrepancy they have with LeBron in terms of winning this series? I'm not betting against LeBron in this series. There's no way I'm betting against LeBron in this series, but the Raptors got a lot, man. They are really talking about the whole strength and numbers things, and those backups are awesome. Van Vliet,
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
my man Darrell Wright's brother, the homie Pascal. And they give you starter type stuff. And Van Vliet, he will be getting paid in the offseason. Chris, this is BMO's favorite subject. We'll get to him lastly, but real quick, thoughts on Raptors, Cavs.
Cleveland's in trouble.
Okay.
Because my thing is this. They have no defense. Ooh. And if DeRozan gets hot, that means LeBron not only got to take the offensive load, he's going to guard DeRozan. And that's a sound for trouble. The problem is we just don't trust Toronto. That's the problem that we run into. I think game one they're gonna beat Cleveland because LeBron's tired, man. LeBron's expressed that he's tired. I think that Cleveland needs to figure out something. I'm more concerned with Cleveland. Not worried about Kevin Love, but I'm worried about who's the third guy. Who's gonna be the third guy? Because my thing is this.
Who's the nominee?
I mean, Tristan Thompson had a hell of a game the other night, but you can't rely on him to score, especially with Ibaka and those guys in the paint. So I think that Earl, Korver,
Rodney Hood,
Clarkson. I mean, George Hill, all of them. Is George Hill back okay? Because so you want Jose Carter on skates all night trying to go on Carolina.
George Hill is at that stage where he just he got a trick back, so it just it goes in and out.
So I'm gonna say I can't go against LeBron, but honestly I do think Toronto can win this series because I think that it does. This is the point now where you gotta look at the talent part. Because it's LeBron. Because think about this: LeBron's the best one on the court, but then you go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You start naming everybody else before you get to Cleveland, and that's the issue. And that's including Kevin Love. And Kevin Love has to step up. Also, does Tyrone lose moment to be a coach and make adjustments? So we'll see. I think the Tristan thing kind of helped out a little bit defensively and rebounding, but man, this ain't Indiana, bro. And I don't think there's no kind of antics on that Toronto team with Lance Stevenson, of course, coming down the court, getting a couple of fouls, weird fouls. So it's going to be an interesting series. I think it's going to be a good series, but I also think that, man, this is it for Toronto. You want to talk about Oklahoma City? They're the Oklahoma City of the East. This is it. If they get swept around this series, man, you have to
tear it down.
You have no choice.
All right, BMO. These are your favorite regular season Eastern Conference team. They get LeBron in the playoffs once again. Will the RSHs shed their nickname? Shed, and by shed, let me take Poppy. Shed.
You know what?
Shed.
I'm gonna change the H word, and I'm gonna make it for a side dish. I'm gonna call them harlots instead of that.
So we're going from O's to harlots.
Yes, I'm gonna change it to that. My thing with this is now they're facing Toronto. Toronto is facing Cleveland again, but this time it's in the semifinals. Remember last time they played in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I figured that it would be better for them to face them then until now. Roster-wise, Toronto has it. Bench, starting 5, I guess the coaching with Dwayne Casey. I have no problem with him coaching. But just like Hendo has mentioned, I have a problem with them, capitalizing in the playoffs when it matters the most, and they have not done that the last 3 seasons. I still can't trust them. They do have a better team. They have a better record, especially a better road record and better defense. But it's still hard for me to go against LeBron after what he did, which unfortunately I think, Dave, like I said, the hangouts, he's going to have to put up another 40 points a game just to stay afloat in the series, just to stretch it to 7 games. Somebody's going to have to win on the road. And if it gets to 7 games and Cleveland is on the road, as they will be, I have Cleveland winning this series. The only reason, because like I can't trust Kyle Lowry. I can trust DeRozan in an extent, but he's going to have to guard LeBron. Who's going to guard LeBron consistently? Also, like Hendo said, who's going to be the third scoring option? It got to be to a point where everybody's going to have to score, be all hands on deck. Because it got to a point in this Indiana series in Game 7 where I saw LeBron just standing there and just tired as crap, like standing there, like he couldn't even, to a point where he couldn't even move. You know what I'm saying? He said he's playing the whole game. When it gets to the point where your best player on the team has to play 48 minutes, probably damn near every game, probably 40 plus, that's not good. And you're going on the road against Toronto, who has great home court advantage. DeRozan and Kyle Lowry both is going to have to at least shoot 45% from the field. Ibaka, like everybody's hands on deck for Toronto. I'm pretty sure mentally they're ready because this probably be on their minds every single time they go against LeBron. So I still have the Cavs winning in 7 games. It's going to be tough because I cannot trust Toronto for nothing. If Toronto wins this series, I will take off the RSH name. I will take that off Toronto Raptors, Dave. You have my word on that. Stamp and approve. I will take it off.
Come on, Harlots. All right,
Harlots.
let's take a break. When we return, yes, children, calm your damn nerves. We're going to talk about the draft. Mo Sports Talk on the afterparty.com. Like, who is it?